welcome back. And here we are talking about new things for the new year. And why not add to that list learning to play a new instrument? Just how hard it is, that's what we're going to find out today. We have with us musician Giselle O'Brien, back with us again, we should say. Welcome back.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. So Giselle, you studied music, so yes. you're in a whole different category. But there are many people who always had a wish of learning to play an instrument and just never got around to it. Maybe they became adults, there aren't classes for adults. What's your suggestion to them?
Well, to be honest with you, Marlene, yes, I studied music, but before I went to university, I spent a lot of time with a tiny guitar just like this one. I only had 2 strings on it, and that's pretty much how I learned.
Wow.
2 strings?
Yeah. Do you know the guitar has, you can play chords, but then you can also play melody. So I just picked out a ton of melodies on those 2 strings and tried to figure out, how it worked. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
How many instruments do you play?
I play guitar and piano, and I'm currently learning cello.
Okay.
And I dabble in everything else. I pick it up, I try it out, and then I put it on again.
And how difficult would you say it is to play a guitar?
Guitar is not hard. It just requires some discipline and practice, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would be your recommendation to people in terms of if they want to learn to play a musical instrument, what's a good starting point?
YouTube. Yes. If you have an instrument at home, YouTube tells you how to tune your instrument, how to hold it. It gives you tutorials. It's a really wonderful tool if you want to, if you really want to learn.
So just
YouTube? For guitar.
For guitar.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And piano maybe. If you want to learn other classical instruments like the violin or the cello or even the trumpet, then it's recommended you get yourself a proper teacher because those are more band and orchestral instruments.
Yeah, in case you have a trumpet lying around.
Well, you never know, Marlene. Old people have a lot of things in their attics.
We did have a saxophone player for Gimme 5, so we still have wind instruments. So tell us, I'm looking at the guitar and I'm very daunted by it already.
I know.
Do you have to have some sort of rhythm, some sort of musical inclination?
Do you listen to music, Marlene?
Yes.
Do you dance?
I try to.
Oh, that's all you need. As long as you enjoy it, you can pretty much learn it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you teach children?
I teach children and adults.
Okay. And what are some of the things that makes one more successful at learning to play an instrument?
I think the best thing that you can do to learn is just consistent practice. Yeah. For my students, who I'm very hard on, I require at least 3 hours practice a week. Not a day, a week. If you break that up into half an hour sessions every day or 20 minutes a day, it's pretty good. But if you're just a casual learner, you just want to pick it up, an hour a week will make a big difference.
And of course, as you grow with the instrument, then you have to put in a couple bit more hours of practice.
Yes, but of course, everybody has different goals when it comes to music. I'm a teacher, which means that I am consistently taking lessons or trying to find different ways to learn new things. But if you're just a casual player, if you just want to play for your enjoyment, then there are basic things that you can learn that you can experiment with in your own time, for sure.
Okay. Do you play an instrument?
Well, I grew up playing the violin, but I was one of those tough students. I didn't like practicing. And because it's a string instrument, it required cutting your nails and having them really short. And I don't know, I was just stubborn. I was just a stubborn child. Yeah.
It happens. It's okay.
What are the benefits of learning to play an instrument?
There are different benefits depending on age and lifestyle. For example, with children, it's really good for cognitive development, for inspiring discipline. Music activates certain parts of the brain that does not get activated by academics. So it helps to facilitate and support what you're already doing. when I was studying music, I was also a teaching artist, which means that I worked with people with disabilities. And music is wonderful because it helps them to express themselves if they lack expression vocally or with their bodies.
Yeah.
And then for older people, it's really good because it helps to exercise the brain. It gives you that, learning new things just kind of helps you to keep the brain active. And of course, for old people who have things like arthritis and so on, it's a good exercise. It's a very nice and stable exercise for the hands and for the joints and so on.
And you know what's interesting too, the theory, it helped me with math.
Oh yeah, music is really just logic and math floating around in the air. And I always tell my students, if you want to learn fractions, go learn music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Marlene is learning today.
we're gonna try this, right? I've actually always wanted to learn to play. I played piano for maybe 6 months, but I never learned to read the music. It was all by ear. So I don't know how helpful that was. But guitar and steel pan are two that I've always wanted to learn.
Yeah,
Well, they're learning.
I think the steel pan might be easier, but let's do some guitar this
Can we
morning.
get a steel pan instead? Okay, so how do I hold it?
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that the curve of the guitar is resting gently on your leg. Yeah?
Try that.
Yeah, let me
Do a
position
decent-
myself.
Oh, I might
Actually, you're
knock
you're
you.
quite fine. This is called the neck of the guitar. You want this to always be angled upwards because it gives you a better reach with your fingers.
Okay.
And
Let
to
me-
make this
so that I'm
I'm
not-
gonna knock you over. Okay.
to make this sound, you simply pluck the string. Yeah, there you go. Now, the physics behind it is that the shorter the string is, the higher the sound. Yeah, there you go. Marlene is a natural, come on.
I don't even know.
So I'm gonna teach you one of my favorite chords. It's easy, it's beautiful. It's called E minor. You're gonna take your pointer finger and you're gonna rest it on the second string from the top. And then you're gonna put a finger on the string right below. And you're gonna keep that right in the same space. There you go.
There,
And then you're
okay.
just gonna.
I made music.
Look, she's an artist.
And now I'm gonna
Okay,
show
now you
something-
sing.
I'm gonna show you something really cool. This is a chord, but you can also break up the strings by plucking one string at a time.
I don't know what I did there. That didn't sound right.
So that's your first chord. Are you ready to learn the second one?
Yes.
Okay. This one we're gonna stretch. Actually, no, let's keep it right there. We're gonna take the same two fingers and you're just gonna move it down by one string.
So to the third one?
What string is the third one?
Oh.
This is tuned to,
I never thought it would hurt
D.
to hold the
D.
chords down.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
and then you're gonna take the third finger and put it on the second to last string.
Oh, the
So-
third. Okay. On the in the same
in the
space.
same space. And you kind of want to curve your fingers so that you're not touching any other string. And then you can play that.
Almost,
Yeah.
you know.
So if you can try playing the first chord and then the second chord. There you go. You can write an entire song on those two chords.
I don't know. I think that didn't sound the way it was supposed to sound.
Well, you know, Marlene, I can lend you the guitar. You take a week to practice, and then next week you come and show us what you've learned.
I like that.
And Charlie sings backup.
No, I lip sync. That's what I do.
Well, you know, she did mention that she played the violin.
So this should be easy for her.
We'll have a jam session.
Dum dum dum.
No, it's not easy actually because this was I absolutely hated cutting my nails, and it does hurt a bit to press down on it. So that's why I was such a tough student.
Is it the same with the violin?
We have 4 strings.
Yeah, violin has 4 strings and they're all metal.
Okay.
This one, the one that you have, I gave you the nice one. It has nylon strings, which
Okay.
are softer and easier on the fingers, and recommended for beginners.
Okay.
Yeah.
The violin is.
And then of course you make the sound on the violin with a bow.
Yeah,
So
and then you have to
you
hold
pull the
it.
bow over the strings, and it makes that
It's all
really
about
screechy
posture.
song.
Yeah.
With guitar, you can fake it. And the good
with it in front of me, I felt like a rock star already.
the good thing about the guitar though is that so we teach in standard tuning, which is worldwide, but there are actually tunings on the guitar that require way less work.
Oh.
Yeah, so for example, I can tune down my guitar to a tuning that we call Dadgad, and I just learned this summer, so I'm really excited about it.
What's it called?
Dadgad tuning, so it's D-A-D-G-A-D.
I used to try doing that, and then you just hear ping.
And if you just play those,
Oh.
right? This is the easiest one
I
I've
feel like
learned.
we should make a song.
No. Come on, Marlene, you don't put artistic people on the spot like that. It's not nice.
You just make up lines. Everybody sings a line and you go. All right,
Oh,
it's
boy.
your turn, Charlie.
Okay, so what do I do?
Let's see how easy it is.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not holding it properly.
You need a little bit more space on this side.
Okay, well,
that's
that's
okay. So again, we're gonna do the same. Do you want to do the same two chords? Do you want to do something
It
different?
doesn't.
Okay, let's try playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
I knew how to play that on the violin.
There you go.
Okay, so each one of
Was
your
that the only
frets
song?
is a semitone, yeah?
Okay.
So if you start here,
Oh my goodness.
just
Where?
with just playing the string. Yeah, and of course yours is tuned slightly different. And then you press the 5th fret, so you can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here or?
Right down there, and you play that note. Yeah? So it's a pattern.
Oh.
So we're gonna go 1, 1, and then,
Where does that go at?
so we're gonna play open without pressing anything. Come up to,
The 5th? I hope I'm in there.
good. Now come up to the 7th. Third. Good. So I'm just showing you where the frets are, yeah? If you want to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, we're going to go all the way up to the 7th. So it's your turn.
Okay, so we start at the 5th one, right?
We start at the open.
Open.
7th.
Wait, no, wrong one.
7th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then you're going to go to the 9th. Back to the 7th. 5th. 4th.
Okay, I got that one.
There you go. You did it. Woo. So we had a Twinkle Twinkle jam session.
Yes, or something like that.
Now, I have a question to ask because I know that it is very common that the parents want their children to learn a musical instrument. What's your advice? Sometimes the kids just don't want to. I think Charlie gave a great example, and I've heard these stories all the time. Well, you're going to music class, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's a little bit dangerous because sometimes, like most children are naturally inclined towards music. It's one of the ways of communication that is, worldwide across the board. It transcends language. But if you are forced into anything, even if you kind of like it or you kind of love it, but you feel like you're forced into it, your natural reaction is to kind of like resist it. Yeah. Most children have an inclination towards a certain type of sound. So if you have a child that's at home banging your pots with spoons, they might be a drummer.
Yeah.
If your child sings a lot, he or she might be a singer. If your child looks at instruments and just go, maybe that child is not cut out for music. But that doesn't mean that music can't be present in their life.
And I think it has a lot to do with the approach as well. Because sometimes, in my case, the violin is a classical instrument. So, of course, we had to learn the basics, being very classical music. And personally, I wasn't really interested in that. I wanted to learn songs that, I could hum along to or that I knew, and so I found my second violin teacher, she took that approach. she taught us, like, I think she was teaching us our anthem and jingle bells, and so that was just an entirely different experience for me. So I think it has to do with the approach you take as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you have a teacher, a good music teacher, the teacher is not just teaching you the basics, but it should be fun. Music at the end of the day should be fun. So you're taking, there's so many different types of music played on all instruments. You're taking maybe the rock or the rap or the hip hop and the classical. You want to create a holistic experience with all the types of genres that are out there, for sure.
And I think sometimes the investment is a bit daunting for parents. Is there tips on finding an introductory level instrument for your child?
Music, yeah, it's expensive. I think it's expensive because there are not a lot of good music teachers in Belize. There are not a lot of teachers in Belize to begin with. And places that you can go, it's limited. And teachers only have so much time because we take a one-on-one approach.
Yeah.
But if you can find a good community program, like, for example, I did a voice class at Samuel Haynes. That was absolutely free for the students. There are steel pan groups around. That's, again, absolutely free. We offer short courses at Palote that are group classes that are a fraction of the price. So you just gotta, just talk to people, ask questions. It's not always that one-on-one $50 an hour kind of deal.
Yeah.
And teachers like myself, I offer like short 3-month classes that are group classes for students all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for why do you find that adults seek you out to learn music, to learn to play an instrument? Or
I think because when I was a child, which is like 30 years ago, there was not a lot of opportunity to learn. Instruments were not available as readily. I mean, I was from Cayo, and at the time there were no music teachers there, and I really wanted to learn guitar. But now there's so much more that can help you. There's YouTube, there are teachers available, there are people that are just playing on the streets now. So, most people have wanted to, like yourself, but just haven't had the opportunity. So as an adult, with more open to us now, it's easier.
Marlene might be in one of your
I
classes.
might be. I might come back and. Does it make you a better singer, learning to play the guitar?
Yes.
No, I really believe that. I find when I hear people singing while they're playing a guitar, they're more in tune.
Yeah. As long as you have an instrument in front of you, it helps your ear, it helps your posture, it helps your voice, everything. Because it's music is not like one little thing that you're learning. It's many things you're learning at the same time. And developing your ear is definitely one of them.
Okay. How long should one invest in trying to learn a new instrument before perhaps they decide it's not for them or they should move on to something else?
That really depends on the person. I advise my students to stick with it for a year. And I advise my parents not to spend on an expensive instrument in the beginning because you never know, they might just put it down. But just invest in a good solid instrument and try to stick with it. Maybe, when I say a year, it's really about 8 months out of the year. Yeah. But try to stick with it for that first year when you cover the basics, because once you get over that hump, it becomes a lot easier.
So an instrument like this is your beginner level? I don't know.
This is my beginner guitar for older kids and adults. So it's a 3/4 size guitar. It has a smaller fretboard, and the body of it is a little bit smaller than an actual
Fretboard.
guitar.
So that's
This is the fretboard, the length of it.
and these are frets.
That's right. Yeah. This is a performance guitar. It's a performance classical guitar. It's a little bit bigger than the one that you're holding. And then, of course, we have the steel string guitar, which is a big body. It's a lot of reach, hard strings that make your fingers bleed. I'm kidding. It's just a little bit
I don't know.
difficult.
The whole guitar fantasy now is quickly fading.
No. There's many different types, and I mean, if you want to just stick to the nylon string guitar, it's fine. Steel strings are for hardcore metal and rock, I think.
And electric guitars?
Electric guitars are steel, but they're softer.
Okay.
And those are easier because you don't even have to press it all the way down. Like, you just touch it and it makes a noise. So.
Maybe we could start with that one.
Yeah.
There you go. Bring out my rock star side, right? Okay, so there you had it. We had our quick lesson with Giselle O'Brien. Giselle, how do people get in touch with you if they're interested in private classes?
You can get in touch with me through the Pilates School of Music, or you can call me directly at 615-3672. That is my personal number that I just gave out on TV.
For inquiries about music class only. There we go.
You can also add my artist page. It's Giselle E. O'Brien on Facebook or Instagram, The Life Composer, and ask me questions there. I answer usually within the hour. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in and giving us just a small taste of what it would take to start to learn this new instrument. And we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And we've talked about your financial goals. We've talked about expanding your mind. Now we're talking about keeping that body healthy. That's coming up after the break.